Welcome to Just Wealth Wisdom, where money isn't chased, it's understood. Today's story isn't about a market crash. It's about something far more important. Across the world, banking rules are quietly changing, not on trading screens or in breaking news alerts, but inside regulatory rooms where long-term decisions are made. Most people won't notice these changes today, yet their financial lives will feel the impact tomorrow. The global banking system has entered a phase of silent reconstruction. After recent stresses in major financial institutions across Europe and the United States, regulators reached a shared understanding that stability cannot be left to chance. Banking systems must be designed to survive pressure, not just perform during calm periods. As a result, new rules are being introduced that prioritize endurance over expansion and protection over rapid growth. Banks are now being pushed to operate with stronger foundations. Capital requirements are being reinforced, recovery plans are becoming mandatory, and stress testing is no longer a formality. These measures are not meant to restrict banking activity, but to ensure that when economic cycles turn, the system does not rely on emergency rescues. The era of assuming banks are too big to fail is slowly being replaced by an expectation that banks must be prepared to stand on their own. In Europe, regulators are removing long-standing regulatory shortcuts. Complex corporate structures and diversified financial arms no longer guarantee reduced risk in the eyes of supervisors. Each exposure is being evaluated more directly and more conservatively. In Switzerland, proposals for tougher banking rules emerged after a major institutional failure shook confidence far beyond national borders. While large banks have raised concerns about competitiveness and profitability, regulators remain focused on one priority: preventing a repeat of systemic collapse. The United Kingdom, meanwhile, is choosing a distinct approach. Rather than fully aligning with European financial regulations, it is reinforcing its own framework while expanding oversight beyond traditional banks. Non-bank financial institutions, including hedge funds and private lenders, are now under closer observation. This reflects a growing recognition that financial risk has evolved and often operates outside conventional banking channels. Emerging economies are not standing still. Central banks in Asia and other regions are tightening controls over foreign exchange exposure and cross-border financial risk. Currency volatility and global liquidity shocks have proven how quickly instability can spread. By strengthening their regulatory defenses in advance, these markets aim to reduce vulnerability to external pressures while aligning more closely with global financial standards. Digital finance has also become part of the regulatory conversation. Crypto assets and stablecoins are no longer viewed as separate from the banking system. Banks are being required to clearly define and manage their exposure to digital instruments, not to eliminate innovation, but to ensure transparency and accountability. Financial systems depend on confidence, and confidence cannot exist without clarity. For individuals, these changes may appear gradual. Identity verification is becoming stricter, lending standards more selective, and reliance on cash increasingly limited. From a wealth perspective, this signals a shift toward a more controlled financial environment, where stability is valued over convenience. Credit becomes more disciplined, and long-term planning becomes more important than short-term leverage. At Just Wealth Wisdom, we interpret these changes as signals rather than obstacles. They indicate that capital is gaining importance, liquidity is being carefully managed, and risk is being priced with greater realism. Those who understand these structural shifts early are better positioned to protect and grow their wealth over time. The most meaningful transformations in finance rarely announce themselves loudly. They unfold quietly through rules written well before their effects become visible. And in a world shaped by systems, true wealth is built by those who understand the structure beneath the surface.